Well, hi, good morning, and welcome to my shop, and thanks so much for joining me here today. Today is, oh my gosh, it's August number 1 today, August 1st. Oh my gosh, the summer is disappearing. It always seems to do that. So today, what am I going to do? Now, mostly the electronic work, tune-up work is done, mostly. Still a few things. I got a few old capacitors here I'll get around to doing. I think what I wanted to do today was fiddle around with the Magic Eye. The original Magic Eye is currently in this bag of junk, and I think it is junk. And I have some essentially NOS new old stock tubes. I have a couple. They're essentially brand new. These are not them. These are the dead Magic Eye tubes that I can't bear to throw out. I managed to find them, but I can't find my good Magic Eyes because you know why? Just like you, I've put them in a safe place. But just like you, I don't know where that safe place is anymore. So I can't find them. So for now, we can't do anything with the Magic Eye, unfortunately. But there is another light issue with this radio, lighting issue, and that's all these lights here. Now when it came here, it was missing one light. I stuck one light in here just to relent. It also has a light behind the phonograph word, which you can barely see, but when the light comes on you can read the word phonograph there, and that happens when you turn the band switch all the way to the right. The last click turns on this light, turns off all these. So like a lot of radios, there's a glass pane, and then there's writing on the glass pane, and you might think naively that the light is being shone onto it this way, or maybe shone from the back somehow, but that's not what's happening at all. In fact, if you look on this radio, the backing material is right up against the glass. This backing material is pushed right up tight against the glass here. There's no space behind for light to travel across. And that's on purpose. They don't want light striking this, I don't know what the word would be, obliquely, I don't know what the word would be, striking it this way or from the back, which it can't. They actually want the light to travel down the inside of the pane of glass. It's shot in on the edge here by these lights, and then it travels within the glass, and that'll cause these things to light up. And it usually gives a pretty uniform display of lighting right across, even though the light bulb is sitting here. Now there's some tricks to making this work. I'm pretty sure the tricks have not been particularly utilized on this radio, because I think some of these bulbs are wrong. Certainly the one I put in is the wrong size bulb. So we'll take a look at that. You see how each one of these has a slide cover, a metal slide cover, to try to stop light from leaking out, getting into the front of the radio here. Either, you can see it with your eye, which would be terrible. Hopefully this is all hidden from view. But there's probably more blocking going on to stop this light from casting over the front. So the only place the light can go is into the glass edge and through it. We should probably look at how well this is working, because even with this not done 100% correct, I haven't even explained what that is yet. It may look pretty darn good from what little I remember looking at it. So we're going to turn on the radio, and we're simply going to look at the lighting display here. So I've got super lights on in my shop. Let me just calm it down a little bit here. Too much lighting. Okay, let me close my doors. So I can make it very dark in here. Now, showing lighting effects using a camera that has automatic adjusting features becomes really tricky. So in the end, what I see may be quite different from what you're seeing. But let's check this out now. So flip her on. Also put it on the broadcast band. Maybe we can pick something up here. I don't know. We'll see. So certainly when I'm standing here, I'm getting blasted by this light, and it's very evident in the camera. Now when the radio's in the cabinet, there may be, as I mentioned, some blocking thing going on. A piece of wood here. Sometimes they use bent pieces of cardboard that have been placed in just so to stop any light from coming across here. So that's a little bit of a problem. The shield here is just not 100% doing the trick. The light bulb's a little wonky. Okay, let's see how this looks. Certainly in this much light, let me put the full light on. Full light, full light, full light, full light, full light. Now that raging interference is raging away there this morning. No, okay, we're not going to pick anything up. But that's not what we're trying to do. So with this much lighting, this is from my eye, my shop is dully lit right now. I want it to be just a little bit brighter than it is because you can't tell in the camera. You cannot tell what's going on in the camera. So here's the different band lightings. Not supposed to see that. So when I change it, you can see. You can kind of see it jumping from band to band. The bottom two are the best lit. Top one's terrible. And broadcast looks pretty good. So what is it about the top one? Oh, there comes the phonograph light when you go far enough for that. Let's take a look at how these lights are arranged now. I turn them off. We're just going to look at closely at the position of each of the light bulbs, and I'll talk about what it is we're really trying to do with these radios. This radio is an unusual one for sure. The way the dial is lit is very unusual. So I need my other camera going here. Let's try that. Let's just check how close can we get. Close enough. Good enough. I think maybe it's even on autofocus. No, it's not. But that's good enough. That's good enough. That'll do it. Okay, so let's start with the bottom one here, where the shield is rotated around the wrong way. You see the light bulb? It's a nice little round light bulb. And this one, I'm going to guess this one's the same here. I've only got one finger, one hand available right now. Whoops, didn't want to do that. This is the one I put in. This is a number 47. It has a long bulb. It has a long bulb on it. Okay, so we're going to slide these off. I certainly don't want to mix them up. The wires are all loosey-goosey back here, so if I pull them all off, they're not going on properly again. So we'll do this kind of one at a time. Well, maybe I should look for some reference for the type of light bulb that should be in it, because I think this was a 55 light bulb, this small one here. Yeah, I'm going to look for some reference. I have already. I couldn't find anything, but I'm going to look again and just see if I can spot a reference. And then we're going to put brand new bulbs in here from top to bottom. And then we're going to look at, well, let me tell you this. You see these metal pieces sticking out here? These metal bands. These metal bands run continuously right through here. These are the light blocking metal bands between, yeah, band, a bad word to use here, band. Metal band between the bands, different bands. So that's what these actually are. Can you see the blocking sort of shape? Not quite. But they're more than just going over the top here. They actually slide between the glass and make sure the light doesn't leak from band to band. That's what I want to say. Schenectady. Okay, let's get the. Let's start with one light. Oh, I was going to look and see what kind. Well, I will in a minute. Let's look and see what's actually in here. There's these very long supports which can be bent this way and that way to angle these lights just right. Take the sleeve off here. So these are bayonet bulbs. They have they're called bayonet. How they go in. Here it is. Looking pretty bad. Okay, I'm looking for a number or an indicator on it. Pretty sure that's a 55 though. This is a 6 to 7 volt bulb. I'm looking for my magnifier. Can't find it. Okay, let's use the camera. We'll use the camera here. You're looking for a number on the metal part of the... It's nothing. It's probably all rusted away. Amazingly enough, the bulb works. Look at the dirt on it. I mean, this is not going to help. So here's the secret. I can tell you the secret right now. When you look in the bulb, you can see the filament in there. Well, you can't actually see it, but there's a filament in there, of course. And that's where the light is coming from the filament. It's not coming from the glass globe. It's coming from the filament. It's the filament that needs to be lined up with the edge of the glass. So lining up the glass bulb is not enough, because sometimes the filament is a little to the left or a little to the right. This looks dead center here. But it's very important to get this lined up. So you have the edge of the glass coming here. That's the edge of the glass. And then you got to get the light lined up right on it. The filament right on it. This particular radio is kind of built for this. A lot of other radios, the glass, I should get a piece of glass. My hand here will be the glass. The bulb is coming this way. And you can push it forward and back. And by doing that, you bring the filament into alignment with the edge of the glass. And if you don't do that, then the glass will not be lit right. And you'll never get the real experience of these radios, which, when they're done right, the glass dials are dazzling to look at. They're nice and cleaned up. They're dazzling. Many of them are dazzling, and that's what some of the main feature of these old radios is, the glass dial. That's what people look at and go, ooh, look at that. Along with the woodwork in the cabinet, things like that. Well, I don't see a number, but I'm pretty sure this is a 55, so I'm gonna, let's not take another bulb out. Yes, I know what I'll do. I'll mix them up, and then we'll be into another. Well, it wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to sort them out. Let me get some new bulbs out and take a look here. Well, they may not be 55s. So these are 55s. This is a 55 here. And you can see there's a bit of a difference in the size of the glass globe. There's that sleeve that's supposed to slide right over the bulb. And it barely fits here, like there's a pressure fit here. There's no chance of it going over the top of this thing. So they're not 55s. Now that's unfortunate, because I have a whole bunch of 55s I bought for a jukebox project. Okay, not 55s. What are they? Okay, let's try these. These are 51s. And they look correct. Here's the old one. Yeah, they look correct. So it's a 51 bulb in the radio. Unfortunately, I've got a box. I got one box of 51s here. So we can renew them all. The light bulb behind the phonograph sign, or the phonograph window, is a 47, I'm pretty sure. So there we are, five nice new bulbs. Oh my gosh, I've only got one left after that. Okay, let's stick them in. Stick them in here. Okay, I'll just do the rest of the lights like that, and then we'll see what we got. Okay, a couple observations while I was doing that. Every bulb that came out of it was a 47 style bulb with a longer glass globe, except the very first one. So maybe this is the odd guy, and they really should have these longer glass globes in them. Second observation, because I haven't found a statement as to what the proper bulb is for this radio. So here you can see this one. The bulb is in, and there's a gap in here, a small gap, and this is pushed all the way forward. It's reached its limit, and there's a small gap there. That looks to me like the kind of gap that would allow a 47 to fit in there. Not quite. So you really want these like pushed up as tight to the glass as you can. So maybe 55 or 51 rather, not the right size. I think I'm going to just hunt around a little bit more and try to sort this out before because I could put 47s in there easy enough. So the only comment I can find is it's a 6 to 8 volt bulb. Doesn't say much more than that. So I'm going to change one of these, this one down here, for a new 47. And then we'll compare. Will we really see a difference? Whoops, forgot the cover. Oops, this is right off. Still not covering the edge of the bulb either. Okay, there we go. Once again. First thing I notice is that this bulb seems dull. This is the 55. Let's go down. I think the 47 is just a little bit brighter. Okay, let me just douse the lights here. It's actually a tricky business in my shop. I have an automatic light that automatically comes back on. There it is. I cannot defeat it. Isn't that stupid? There's a light I cannot turn off. How could they possibly have done this? Look. Oh, maybe it's this for nighttime. Maybe not. Maybe it's this. What happened? It's off now. And it's back on. I have to unplug it. Let's try maybe to hold this. What's happened here? What's that doing flashing? What happened to the... Well, that's pretty interesting. Now, you can see the light in the LED. But as far as I'm concerned, when I look with my eyes, it's not working. So this little light is to indicate to the person using it that it's working, because you can see this surface, but you can't see the actual light. What a dumb thing. You cannot turn this light off. You cannot turn this light off. Wait a minute. You probably can. There's a motion thing here. It's off. And it's on again. Yeah, okay. I fixed radios, but I cannot work a light bulb. We have to just pull the plug out on it. Kind of a dumb situation there. And here's the plug. Now it's off for sure. Okay. Those doors again. Still have light on, of course. Now you can see the huge chunk of light coming from there. I have to guess once it's in the cabinet, probably this piece is probably pushed up against something and no light can get past. So you never see that. Why would they bother with these shields? Just to keep light from just getting everywhere into the radio and coming out. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the amount of light here and the amount of light here, and it should be almost the same. It is pretty good. top pan's not lighting up at all. Let me turn off some more lights here. Go into the darkness of it all. Yeah, the top pan's not lighting up at all, even though there's a bulb there. Seems to get brighter as you go. That's broadcast. So now let's fool with the broadcast one. Can you see it's much brighter at this end than it is at the other end? Let's see what we can do about that. What can we do about that? We should first observe the position of the light bulb and its filament relative to the glass before you start bending stuff around. So that one's a little off. And number 2 looks pretty good. Let's find out what's going on with this one. How come there's just no light going through? What could be the cause of that? Okay, now I'm in the dark. How do I turn the lights on here? Okay. We don't need any more light. It's amazing what the camera can see versus what I'm seeing in here. It's very, very dully lit shop. Okay. Well, it looks like there's some material that's distorted in here. I don't know, I think the glass edge is right there, isn't it? Can we see with the other camera? You know, maybe something is blocking the glass edge. Well, where is the glass edge? Okay, and I can't do this in the darkness here. Plug in my overhead light. Let me stop for a sec. Oh, I think I had the wrong. Yeah, let me stop for a sec. Okay, let's try this again with a little more light to see by. There is, I see the glass now, and this piece of rubber is covering it. That's why this one's not working. This rubber's distorted here. You probably, just cut it away, just break it away. How about the rest of them? How come they're not going the same way? They kind of have the glass clamped in rubber, and this would be the clamp here. And so you don't want the metal clamp right on the glass because that doesn't sound good. You want to put a little rubber in between. So there's two. So it's like a sandwich, a glass sandwich, and the rubber is the bread. It's not. Here, it's not even sticking out beyond the glass. The glass is sticking out. The glass edge is dirty. I have to clean that. Up here at the very top, things are going a little strange. Okay, so it's right in here where the light goes. It's actually the lower rubber that has curled upwards and is blocking the edge of the glass. Okay, that's the problem with that one. It doesn't seem to be the problem with any of the other ones. Can I really see? Now I know it's the bottom rubber. Looks like I gotta clean the edge of this glass, and at the same time I can clear it. Was that words written right on there? Right on the edge? Yeah. It's pretty clear except for this very top one. Good. Okay, know what I gotta do. Clear away the edge of the glass, clean it up a little bit, and then put the lights back on it. See how and then I'll try to aim the lights a little bit. 47s, 51s. I don't know. Oh, this might be a little bit interesting. So I'm just trying to position the lights and do everything kind of in a final state here. And I got down to this bottom light, and it behaves a little differently than the rest. Each one of these is pushed all the way in. You can't push this in any further, and the bulb is not quite touching the glass. There's a gap in there. This one's different. This one, when you push it in all the way, it pops out a little bit because it crashes into the glass. Now, I might be able to demonstrate this. There, that's all the way in, and you see it's pushed out just a little bit. Is that why there was a 51 in here? The shorter bulb may have made more sense here than the 47. Maybe that's why. Add that bulb in there. Okay, it's still sticking out a little bit. I stuck a little piece of metal right down here. A littler piece. A littler piece here. Okay. Now I see all these pieces of metal that these lights are mounted on are all bent exactly the same. Doesn't look like anybody's bent them to try to make them, customize them on each band. Well, let's try that. Okay. Oh. What happened to this one? What happened to you? Oh. I thought I put 47s in all these. What's happening? No, I put in, help me. I left the shop once too many times here. Let's put a 47 in. Like that. Okay, let's give it a test once again. I gotta unplug my light here. What a dumb arrangement. You can't turn the light off. How can that possibly be? Okay, I got more lights here, I got doors, I got everything here. Lights here, and a door. There we go. Well, now the top band is lighting up really nicely. Let's go through it here. Definitely see the dimming down. It's quite dim on this side here. So let's experiment with this band. I'll try moving the light bulb around a little bit if I can. These are in here pretty tight. It's really not easy to flex this. In fact, there's no flexibility at all. Is it because there's something blocking in there? I don't think so. Because I've got a 57 in there, and or 51, I should have a 47. I don't know what I got in there anymore. Hey. you doing? These are all 51s I've got in here. Really want to see, I don't know, in this much light you can you see it's quite bright here and really quite dull here. I'm really confused about what bulbs I have in there. Let's pull this one out. It's a 51. I thought I put... I don't know what I did. Okay, so when I look on this angle, I'm going to try this with the camera, but I have a feeling it's just, the light is going to be too much. Whoops. I don't really need the light on to examine. I'm going to show you the position of the light bulb relative to the pane of glass. That's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. Okay, let me turn off the light. Focus is really poor. I have to get the camera up really close, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. So the pane of glass is right here where I'm pointing, and the bulb is set so it's shining. The filament is not lined up directly with the glass. It's set back too far. It's really hard to show on that camera. Pretty easy to see with my eye. So let's fiddle with that a little bit. Now, how could I bring this forward? How can I just bend this whole tab forward? Wow, that is a scary procedure there. Bend the light on its grip. Put a 47 in there and see if it solves the problem. 47 might force itself into this area. Okay, so wow, I really got myself confused about 47s, 51s. Anyways, so there's 47s in here and 51s in here. Can we tell the difference without looking too closely? Because you can see it. But can we tell the difference by looking at the band here? Sure enough, when you put a 47 in and shove this thing all the way forward, at the last moment it pops just a wee bit forward and kind of aligns itself with the glass. Or does it? I'm pointing right at it. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. A light that won't turn off. Who makes lights like that? Okay, now cover that with my thumb. Well, that looks better. It looks brighter here. It looks better on the camera than it does in my own eye. With my own eye, this is quite bright. This is dull as can be. So now we can pull this back a little bit and fiddle around. Here we go. Did it get darker? It got darker over there, didn't it? Let me try this again. Oh, did you see that? So at one moment this whole thing was lit, just for a moment, and I think that's the moment that the filament lined up with the, yeah, oh, yeah, that's, I hope I can see that on camera. Look at that, you just slide it in slowly, a little too far. Okay. This one's all the way forward, so we really can't. But you can definitely see the change there, especially in the shortwave word over here. If I lift it up, this one's perfect. This one's just doing the job. Okay, that looks really good right across. Looks lined up nicely here. This one looks dull over here, so I don't have the 47 in here. I have a a 51. But look, if I bend this out a bit, it should be like that. Why would a 47 be any different? Because it at the last minute. Okay, this is that. What happened? I thought I had a box of 47s. I'm out. I have another whole stash of them somewhere. But I thought I had a box full. Brand new ones. Sevens. So I don't want to see this one. Is an older one, and the glass has gone dark in the top here. It's got deposits on the inside of it. This one looks pretty good. Nice and clean. Let's try this. Okay, so we'll try the top band now. It looks pretty good, actually. Oh. You might think, oh, this is just overkill, Jim. What are you doing? But no, this is really important. Do all the work on a radio like this and then have the dial look like crap. It's kind of looks pretty good like that. This one looks dull, so we're going to switch here. Now it could be these 51s aren't quite as bright as that 47. I'm not sure. Okay, now if I just push it in, it'll pop into place. There, like that. Oh, I forgot the cover. Ah. Yeah, tiny little millimeter movement make a big difference in some of these radios. Beautiful. That's lovely. It's lighting up the dirt way over here. Yeah, they're all lighting up the dirt. Now this one's dull because again I've got a 51 in there. Look at that. That's gone too far now. The filament is in front of the glass. Oh. Oops, too far. I had it and then I went a little too far. Like that. Just leave it dull over there. Pretty good. Now the thing is, when this radio, it's going to go from here back to its home. The owner's going to put it back in the cabinet, and any monkey business with these lights is going to undo the balance that I got here. And it's pretty hard not to monkey with these lights while you're putting the radio in and out. Plus this side light thing has to be blocked. Like I say, hopefully the cabinet itself somehow has a piece that comes up like this and blocks it. Sometimes there's it can be like a foam, or not a foam, but it'd be like a cloth material. I can't think of the name of it now. That may be pushed up against this. Kind of a soft, spongy material whose name escapes me right now. Well, I think that's it for that. I gotta find my magic eye to do any more to this radio today. My magic eyes. I can't see my eyes. Oh, it's my lucky day. I found my magic eye tubes, including the ones that are like new. There's one here. It's in this box, but it's not from the tube store. I buy a lot of tubes from the tube store, by the way. That's a place in Hamilton, Ontario. and my experience is really good with them. Very good with them in terms of, you know, you order a tube and it's here in a couple of days. And they've always been good. So here we are. Let me just make sure. 6U5. Very good. See the pins on it? It's got no center post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. 2 of these pins are fat. These 2 are fat. These 2 are the heater. And that's also the key for how this goes into the socket. And the radio. Okay, now I'm working in darkness here. Let's shed some light on things. Okay. We're going to put this in the socket. And the radio. Inside this socket there is probably a resistor. I think it's a 1 megohm resistor, which is critical in the operation of these. And those 2 in the socket, there's a little orange dot. That's trying to indicate where the 2 larger pins go, because it's not readily obvious. And on the bottom here, you probably can't see this. You can. There's an arrow. See the arrow on there? Pointing between these 2 pins. These are the fat pins again, so it's all about which pins are the fat ones. If the resistor has failed, then the eye is not going to operate properly. And my experience, a resistor is bad almost every time. So I don't know about the angle of the tube. I'm just putting it in kind of randomly. Should we even put it in the front? We shouldn't. We should leave it out here where I can see it better. See its operation better. Well, this is a big moment here. Lots of big moments in doing this. Will the eye work? Okay, shouldn't need to make it any darker in here. Okay, volume down. Quick check. Everything okay? Here we go. Okay, power on. Okay, full power. Now this should be quite bright. You can hear my cat calling for me upstairs. There it comes. It's too bright for the camera. I need to brighten it up in the shop here. There. Now you can see the pie-shaped opening. See it changing? It's got a strong signal in here. That's very interesting. It didn't move on that clicky. Okay, let's give a go on the C band, that strong station at 9.3. Is it there today? So, I don't see the eye moving. A strong signal should make the green close up like this, and it should actually close right up on a very strong signal. So the eye appears to be insensitive, but it won't be the eye tube, it's the eye circuit. Now look at this. Can you see the eye moving here as I tune? Can't hear a thing though. What's going on there? So something must be coming out of the detector. Something must be going into the detector and being rectified to generate. This is basically the AVC voltage, the same thing we were looking at on this meter all this time. It's the same thing. In fact, you can use the eye in place of a meter. If you have a radio with an eye, you have a radio with a piece of very helpful technology in it for fixing it up. So I gotta go deal with my cat. He's just howling up there. Okay, let me go do that. Okay, I'm back. So some decision has to be made now about whether the resistor in the back of this socket, assuming there's a resistor there, needs to be replaced. It's probably the cause of the eye insensitivity. This again, this is a major feature. Now, why can you see the eye? As I tuned, it's closed a little wee bit. But it doesn't close on the signal. So there's something funny going on here. Definitely something funny going on. Let's try another band, even though. Okay, so that was the shortwave band that's weak and troublesome. This is one of the stronger bands. Show me a station. Maybe nothing. Yesterday I was doing this with the radio, testing it, picking up shortwave stations. And I checked and I said I think it's SFU, I'm sorry if I've got those letters mixed up, the sun something or other factor. It's a number that relates to, that you can relate to the operation of shortwave around the world. And I looked 156 and I thought, wow, that radio should just be hopping like mad. Well, I must not have refreshed the screen or something like that happened, because the actual number yesterday was 91. So the way that works is, if this number, SFU, is 100 or less, probably not worth turning on your radio. If the number is, say, 110, 120 or higher, time to turn on the radio and see what you can get. So yesterday was a dead day. What's the story today? Let's go through another band here. Okay. It's just nothing happening. Go to the top band. There's nothing here to test the eye with. Well, we'll get something. We'll have to make our own radio station here. Rather than connect this directly, I'm just going to lay it in the vicinity of the antenna connection here. Why would you do that? Oh, I don't know. On the second thought, I'm going to clip it right on. Okay, where are we? Frequency rise. We're at, and you can't see because the light is so bright. How about like that? We're at 88, 80, 88 right now. So I could use the actual scale on the meter itself. So we're 9.5 to 30 megacycles, and can I read that? I would say we're around 17. And I have the radio tuned 15. Why 17? The radio doesn't even pick up 17. Let's go down. There we are. Now, this is a very low signal coming out of the signal generator. Just tune the radio a wee bit. Okay, we're tuned in. We'll turn the light back up. It forces the camera to operate differently and see things differently. You can see the open pie. Now I'm going to crank up the output from here and see what the eye does. This is a very weak signal. Still a weak signal. Okay, it's getting stronger now. Let me turn my radio down a little bit here. Oh, don't go anywhere, eye. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Stay right there. Okay, now this is a real strong signal coming. That's a stupidly strong signal. Okay, it didn't close the eye. Check the tuning of the radio. The radio's working fine. The eye is just not responding. I bet you it's the resistor. The reason I'm hesitant is, if you've ever done this, you know getting at that resistor inside this socket is a rough go. Usually there's a little plastic piece that sits in the bottom of the socket. You have to pull that piece out, and pulling it out breaks it. That's usually what happens. And from there, things get a little shaky. maybe there's a way of measuring that resistance without. Once in a while the resistor pokes right out the back here. I don't see it though. Or maybe it indicated on the schematic in some way, just where it's located. Let's try another band. Okay, we're on that. We're on 11 megacycles. Okay, I'm going to tune my signal generator down around 11. Just turn this down a bit. I'm going to guess. I don't have to guess. Right here. Okay, you can see the eye do its thing. Okay, that's a really strong signal from an antenna. That's stupidly strong. Stupidly means it just doesn't ever get that strong on an antenna. The eye never closes, so I'm sure the eye is insensitive. I don't think there's any doubt. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it quits for today. It's another beautiful day for now. And I know what I got to do tomorrow. I'm going to have to dig out the resistor or do something to prove the resistor is good still and the problem lies elsewhere, which is possible. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching. And tomorrow will be all about the eye.